The concept attainment model. The concept attainment model was developed by cognitive psychologist Jerome Bruner and his colleagues Goodnow and Austin. Together, they published a book titled A Study of Thinking in 1956, where they expanded on the idea that almost all cognitive activity involves categorizing. Categorizing is one of the cognitive strategies that the concept attainment model is based upon. These cognitive strategies, along with the reasoning and processing involved in concept attainment, are an important aspect of the information processing model and the social model through the collaborative work and cooperative learning associated with concept attainment. You can see this in the visual below. This demonstrates the strategic internal processing that occurs in concept attainment through individual and group work. The concept attainment model can be used effectively in all educational settings. It's a valuable process to use for pre-assessing, introducing a new topic, or post-assessing. We have seen this in action in both Dane and Susanna's courses when they have used concept mapping to pre- and post-assess our knowledge. Since the model provides a step-by-step framework for planning and delivery of instruction, you can tailor this model to fit any content area at a variety of levels. It makes it easy to adapt and to use from really pre-K through higher ed, and even possibly in professional development. Now it's time to put it into action. The concept attainment model consists of 3 main phases, with phase 1 consisting of 2 steps. As you can see, in phase 1, this is a teacher's opportunity to present data regarding examples and non-examples of the unknown concept. This is also a time to facilitate the identification of the concept by listing common attributes. In phase 2, this is a place to test the identified concept by generalizing and discriminating the attributes and concepts further with new examples. Finally, we're in phase 3, and this is where teachers have students apply their newly learned concept to an existing or a new project while they analyze their thinking and processing with metacognitive strategies. Let's put this into action. These are some tools that can help you visualize how each of the steps can be carried out. First, the teacher would use a yes, no, or example, non-example T-chart and would proceed as follows. Imagine that I'm putting some pictures here of the concepts I'm talking about. Today, we're going to play a game called Find the Concept. I'm going to place some pictures on the chart, and you should start thinking about what makes them the same or different. Imagine I'm posting the following pictures under the yes side: dog, cat. And under the no side, imagine that I'm putting robin and a picture of a salmon. If you stopped here and asked students to list the attributes now, they might say 4 legs, 2 eyes, fur. If you then asked what these attributes, how these attributes contribute to naming a concept, they might say land animals. You would then have them discuss, define, and list more attributes about land animals. Then you would have them test their hypothesis about that concept. So, in testing the concept, I'm now going to go back and add a few more pictures to each column and let the students continue to have their conversations about the attributes in both columns. So I add bat, flying fox, dolphin. And to the no side, I add robin, frog, lizard. This helps students start to identify that it's not about land animals because there are animals that can fly and swim in both columns. Hopefully, the continued conversation, generalizing and discriminating will help them come to the conclusion that the concept is mammals. At that point, you would move into using some sort of graphic organizer or web where they would list all of the attributes that they have come up with. They would further develop their concept here by putting mammals in the middle and using the sprayer model to continue to define, list critical concrete characteristics, examples, and non-examples. Now, using these three organizers and charts, along with the visuals, they can work together in groups to present and apply in a new activity. They could do something like create a fictional mammal based on the concrete critical attributes. Or if they already had an established assignment that was regarding mammals, they could go back and be sure that everything that they've included is correct based on the attributes they've now learned. Finally, they'll finish by describing and discussing metacognitive strategies that facilitated learning the new concept, and all of this will be done collaboratively. I found some valuable resources that will really expand upon and solidify the information I presented here. These two videos are brief and give some great examples of lesson planning in action. These two articles continue to summarize the concept attainment model and give more explicit strategies. Personally, I would like to use the concept attainment model in my own methods course. It would be nice to integrate some of the strategies like concept mapping into my classes and see how my students react. I've also started working on a new committee, the Diversity Inclusivity Committee, and we're talking about professional development in this area. I think this model would be a great way to start exploring and defining the attributes of some of the big ideas that come under this topic. I would definitely like to further use new technology, since this is a new area for me. In our text, in Figures 6.5 and 6.6, there are many suggestions for some great technological tools we can use. My big question is, one, I want to know if students will tire of this model since it's the same format over and over. And most importantly, I'm trying to find some research out there on the effectiveness of the concept attainment model with ESOL students. I couldn't find much myself, and I know that because this is such an abstract topic, that it might be really difficult for someone who's learning English as a second language. And my final thoughts are around reflecting and next steps. This was a huge learning curve for me. I don't typically use a lot of technology because in methods courses I can just model strategies that I want students to use in their classroom. So I really learned a lot using eMaze and Screencast-O-Matic. I want to use both again, so my next steps are to create something for the online class that I'm teaching next term so that I can put all of these into practice. I also think it's something that I could possibly use for a final project for my face-to-face methods course this term. But again, in reflection, I thought it was amazing. It took an immense amount of time because I'm not very technologically advanced, but I appreciated the opportunity and look forward to practicing all of these techniques again as I hone my skills.